go?
I don't know. Anywhere that needs a lethal protector, I suppose.
Oh! You really meant it!
Yeah?
We will need a cape and a mask.
No, I think you got that covered. We're good.
No, I don't love you. No, I mean, I like you a lot. I really like you, but love, yeah, nah.
Of course, Eddie. You must fight it, sure. Hey, Eddie.
Yeah.
You do love me.
No, I do not.
You do.
I do not.
You do.
I love you.
Yes, you do.
Not one bit.
You do.
Not at
You
all.
love me.
No, not at all.
You do.
I do
Look
not.
at you.
Not at all.
That's the face of a man that's in love.
With who?
J. Jonah Jameson here. Spider-Man, a psychopath wielding powers he has no right to possess, trying to pass himself off as a hero. Well, let me tell you something, kid. You're no hero.
Welcome back, everyone. This would be my new Venom Let There Be Carnage alternate ending and post-credit scene. There's a whole bunch of Easter eggs, so we'll break it all down. I'll also talk about how this is connected to Spider-Man No Way Home. If you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. There's a bunch of Spider-Man stuff happening before the end of the year. Big spoiler warning, if you have not seen Venom Let There Be Carnage yet, I still think there are like 1 or 2 countries where it still has not been released. We'll be talking about the post-credit scene and then a lot of what's happening during Spider-Man No Way Home. But Sony just released a totally different ending scene of the movie and then also revealed an alternate version of the post-credit scene with a different Tom Holland scene. So in this alternate ending scene, they still end the movie with Venom eating both the Carnage symbiote and Cletus Kasady separately. The Carnage symbiote got separated from Cletus using the same trick with the church bell during the Venom origin story from the comics with Spider-Man using the church bells to get rid of the Venom symbiote. They even did a version of that during the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 3 movie. So the version in Venom Let There Be Carnage was kind of like a remix of that. Also, Avia Rod was a producer on that original Spider-Man 3 Tobey Maguire movie, and he's a producer on Venom Let There Be Carnage, so it makes sense that they would do some Tobey moments for this new movie. The big twist with the new version in Venom Let There Be Carnage, though, is that Venom actually pushes Shriek off the rooftop of the cathedral, banging her into the church bell, like ringing the church bell using Shriek. But as she fell to her death below on the ground, she starts screaming with the biggest sonic scream you've ever heard, destroying most of the upper level of the cathedral and damaging the Carnage symbiote so badly that it's separated from Cletus, giving Venom the time he needed to just pick it up, grab it, and eat it whole like a tasty snack. And if it wasn't clear, eating other symbiotes gives them a giant power boost. So they had this whole joke about him eating chickens during the movie and that not being nutritious enough, like not getting that brain chemical that it needed because chickens' brains were so small. When Venom eats the Carnage symbiote, he gets a massive power boost. It's way more nutritious, quote-unquote, than eating an actual person's brain. So he is good to go on energy for a good long while. But they still wind up running away to what seems like a tropical foreign country to escape the police because they're still wanted by the law because of all the vigilante stuff that had been going on in San Francisco recently. That's part of why Detective Patrick Mulligan hated Eddie Brock so much, because they've been trying to find out who was behind all these random attacks on criminals, and he started to suspect Eddie because he always seemed to be connected to all the vigilante events around the city. Like, why am I always finding you connected to all these crazy things that are happening? And then Eddie also screwed him on the Cletus Kasady case right after Detective Mulligan told him not to. So Patrick Mulligan, even though now it seems like he has his own mutant powers at the end of the movie, would arrest Eddie and Venom on sight if they ever saw him again in this universe. Thankfully, Doctor Strange and Spider-Man have him covered.
When you botched that spell where you wanted everyone to forget the Peter Parker Spider-Man, we started getting some visitors.
Big fat yoink into the main MCU universe. The reason why they went to the beach in this scene is just because the Venom symbiote had said one of its wishes was to feel sand between its toes, even though they joke about it not having toes. Like, you don't have toes, what are you talking about? But you get the metaphor, so it's Eddie trying to be less selfish by listening to what the symbiote wants and giving it to him. He literally mentions Venom Lethal Protector, which is the name of the comic book run that inspired the first Venom movie and sort of the whole vibe of this version of the character, an anti-hero who only kills bad guys. One of the funny twists, though, of the Spider-Man post-credit scene is that he now thinks that Spider-Man is a villain, sort of setting up Spider-Man versus Venom. Their whole odd couple back and forth joking about Eddie not being in love with Venom is just a callback to all the other scenes in the movie when other people or the symbiote itself reference their relationship. Like Anne Wang made several jokes about the two of them having a really messed up relationship. But if it wasn't clear, Eddie is not in love with Venom. Like, he's not lying here, even though they're joking about it. So it's sort of like Banner and the Hulk's relationship when it evolves to the point where they can work together to form Professor Hulk, instead of each of them fighting for control of his body. I know there's all kinds of questions about Hulk's arm in the She-Hulk trailer.
Well, not that normal.
These transformations are triggered by anger and fear.
Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
It was still in a sling during the Shang-Chi post-credit scene, but in the She-Hulk trailer, his arm seems totally fine. Don't worry, we'll get those She-Hulk episodes early next year, so I'll talk more about that when we get more She-Hulk footage. There's a lot of questions about the Marvel Phase 4 timeline and where all these different series and all the movies sort of fit in with each other. There's a lot of stuff that's overlapping right now, like Eternals, Spider-Man No Way Home, the Venom Let There Be Carnage post-credit scene, Doctor Strange 2, Multiverse of Madness. When I do new trailer videos, I'll address that, like where each new movie fits into the timeline. But in the alternate version of the Venom Let There Be Carnage post-credit scene with Tom Holland, they were going to have a Spider-Man No Way Home scene that played out in a very different way. Originally, what they had wanted to do was have a scene where Venom actually sees Tom Holland's Spider-Man on the street, like in the flesh, instead of just seeing a video of J. Jonah Jameson yelling about him. In the theatrical cut, we heard the Venom symbiote trying to tell Eddie about its origin story. Let me tell you about my race. It's sort of like a hive mind that exists across many different universes. That's why when the Venom symbiote seemingly recognized Spider-Man, a lot of people are like, wait a minute, maybe he's tapping into the memories from the Topher Grace Spider-Man 3 Venom symbiote, remembering another version of Spider-Man. Like, this looks familiar. The same way that Dr. Octopus in the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer thinks that it's the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man in the Iron Spider costume until he demasks him and says, wait a minute, you're not Peter Parker.
You're not Peter Parker.
This doesn't mean that they're going to bring Topher Grace's Venom back, but it is a funny reference back to that character. Like I said, the same producers on Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 3 that did that version of Venom are also the ones who are producing the new Venom movies. So of course they're going to include little Easter eggs and references back to those movies. But the idea is that the producers actually wanted to bring Tom Holland back and have him film a new scene as his MCU Spider-Man for the Venom Let There Be Carnage post-credit scene. And if it wasn't clear, the video that Venom is watching of J. Jonah Jameson is actually a brand new scene that they filmed for this post-credit scene. Like, if you went back and you watched Spider-Man No Way Home, the video that Venom is watching is totally different from the Spider-Man Far From Home post-credit scene. So they actually had J.K. Simmons come back and film new footage for the Venom version of the scene. And there's a rumor that they also did the same thing for the Morbius movie. Like, there'll be some sort of J. Jonah Jameson scene in the Morbius movie where he's doing something similar. I've already done a couple of new Morbius trailer videos because there were so many questions about the different Easter eggs from every single Spider-Man movie ever. There's Andrew Garfield Spider-Man Easter eggs, there's Tobey Maguire Spider-Man Easter eggs, and Tom Holland MCU Easter eggs, all sort of mixed in this really weird way, just making people wonder what they're actually doing inside the Morbius movie. It raised so many questions, but now the movie seems so much more interesting. I'll add a link for those videos in the description below. But the footage of Tom Holland that you're watching here in this post-credit scene is actually just footage that they already had from No Way Home. So this Venom scene is meant to be happening during the events of Spider-Man No Way Home. But he's still meant to be in a foreign country, like he's still in this tropical country where the beach was that he was hiding out in. So he's not in the New York City area when Spider-Man No Way Home is happening. And in the alternate version of the Venom Let There Be Carnage post-credit scene, they weren't going to have Venom interacting with Spider-Man on screen or anything like that. He was just going to see Spider-Man from a distance, but it was going to be Spider-Man in the flesh. I think they made the right call. I don't think they would have made the version that we saw in theaters any better. Like, Venom seeing a video of Tom Holland's Spider-Man did exactly what it needed to do. Tell you that Venom had been teleported to the MCU, thank you very much Doctor Strange and Spider-Man, and by him saying bad guy at the screen, it just meant to be a callback to the Lethal Protector mantra. Right now, watching this video, Venom thinks that Spider-Man is a villain because he's believing what J. Jonah Jameson is saying, and now he's going to try and take Spider-Man down. But you have to remember that this is happening when reality is sort of crumbling around them. So, like, as the events of Spider-Man No Way Home play out and you see reality tearing all around Doctor Strange and things going crazy, that's when this Venom scene is supposed to be happening. Doctor Strange says in the trailer, we started to get some visitors. Venom is one of those visitors. It's just that we probably won't see him in Spider-Man No Way Home until some kind of post-credit scene moment or a quick scene at the very end of the film. So if you have any requests or any big questions about what's happening with the future of Spider-Man, the future of Venom, just write it below in the comments and I'll add to my future bonus videos. We'll get some more Spider-Man No Way Home trailers soon too. Everyone click here to learn about those weird phantom scenes of Andrew Garfield in the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer, and click here for my full trailer breakdown. Thank you so much for watching, everyone stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.